Thank you, Chairman Capito. I appreciate everybody being here today. Always ask the question, why does it matter? To me, why this matters the most is that if we're going to have a domestic supply chain of the things that are essential to our economic and national security, we've got to get to work. And what that means, pharmaceuticals, rare earth, chips, energy, transmission, infrastructure, AI, all of it requires a great deal of new investment in our nation to be able to do that. And anybody in business knows that time is money, because the longer it takes to do something, the more expensive you make it. The more expensive you make it, the more that cost gets transferred to the consumer out of a necessity to do that. China is considered an engineering society. I recently read this, and we're considered a litigation society. And they go much faster than we do. I'm not suggesting that we want to be like China, because we don't. We want to be responsible, but we also have to compete in a global market. And so, Mr. Bechtel, I know you and certainly your company has done projects all around the world. You have customers all around the world, and I know that you have some pretty important projects in my state, in Ohio. Can you explain to us, because I read the McKinsey study from 2025 said that they will leave $2.5 trillion in capital on the table because of permitting requirements. Explain to us how important you believe that this is for helping America compete.
Thank you, Senator Husted, and thanks for your support in Ohio. Yes, so there's $1.5 trillion in investments currently waiting in the queue for permits. It takes on average 4 to 5 years for every dollar of investment that enters that queue to come out the other side. Doesn't matter whether that's a private dollar or a public taxpayer dollar. If you add all that up, that means that we're losing somewhere between $100 and $140 billion a year in unrealized returns, and that the induced GDP impact of that is about $2.4 trillion a year. I think it was said earlier really well by Senator Kramer. This is an everybody wins situation if we can fix it. America wins, consumers win, workers win, communities, taxpayers win with a permitting system that's efficient, that's predictable, and that yields a durable result that allows us to attract investment from around the world.
And as you're doing projects around the world, just how, particularly in the places that we're having a difficult time competing with, what's the time difference it take you to do a big project in one of those places versus the United States?
It varies widely, sir. We do, at any given point in time, we have about 100 projects in 30 different countries. Every country is a little bit different. I cited some examples earlier of places like Australia and Canada where they're consistently, predictably issuing permits, including very robust environmental protections and community consultations inside of 2 to 3 years. If we could just cut the current 4 to 5 year time in half, that would unlock a tremendous amount of value, which currently is just tied up in the system. Just to put a finer point on this, the cost of living and cost of goods and services impacts of this, it's been said by others, but permit delays they lead to real costs for consumers and taxpayers. If it takes on average 4 to 5 years to get through the permit process, think about that over the last 4 to 5 years, construction costs have on average gone up about 40%. So while your project's waiting for its permit, just add 40% to the cost of your project and then figure out how you're going to pass that on to the ultimate beneficiaries of the project. It's destroying a ton of investor value. It's destroying a ton of taxpayer value. It's a huge opportunity.
So either the project doesn't happen because it's too expensive, or the cost gets passed on to the consumer. And Mr. Booker, I want to give you an opportunity to reflect on that because you work with the people who build all these projects. What would it mean in terms of jobs and quality of life for your members?
Well, let me start by saying I wish our members got that 40% raise that he was talking about, the 40%, because they ain't getting 40% raises.
Exactly.
The impact for our members is jobs, and it's their ability to go to work. It's their ability to give their skills to build a chips plant outside of Columbus. And when you see that project gets delayed or projects like that get delayed, as we train our people to get there, and then they have to sit on the sidelines, they don't have health care. They're not getting that pension credit. They're not getting a paycheck because we get paid by the hour, we don't get paid by the job. So it has a huge negative impact with unpredictability and chaos when every owner, every contractor, every developer wants predictability, and every member that I represent wants to know that current job is going to stay safe and that they have a place to go on their next job when they built that infrastructure.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Capito, for the opportunity. But what we heard here is what others have said earlier. Everybody wins. It's good for America. It's good for American business, and it's good for the American worker. And I hope we'll get this done. Thank you.